Hey, you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTalks 1340 AM and on United States with FM network. I always enjoy to have people from around the world because this is not just a show that is broadcast right now here in this part of Arizona, of course, reaching California with Needles and Laughlin, Nevada. This is for me a show that belongs to all humanity because after all, freedom, it belongs to everybody, and so love. And of course, guns, I wish belongs to everybody. Unfortunately, just in America, especially in Arizona or states like Arizona, we have that right. Regardless, I wanted to talk about right now this final part of this final hour about love, the most powerful love. You know, I was reading stories regarding this Paris attack. And, you know, I don't want to go down here if was a false flag or not. I already told you during the first hour. Regardless, ISIS is being trained and, you know, funded by we know who. The Obama administration and people like McCain. That's a fact. Now I want to focus on the love part. When I read the stories that some of these people, the victims, they were on the ground and they were begging, not for their lives, but begging to leave, let their family members live. To beg, to say, please kill me, but do not kill my son. Do not kill my wife. Do not kill my girlfriend. That's for me the most powerful final act of love that any human being could give. Ready to give your life for somebody else. Think about that. This is not a movie. This is not some action movie or some horror movie. This is real life. And, you know, think really the drama, that emotion, that final last few seconds, you see in front of you, you know, your family die, being murdered, being slaughtered. And, you know, maybe you're lucky if you go first. I don't know if you can call yourself lucky. But this is something that it's real. And I will let you just to meditate for a moment. Because unfortunately, evil is real. You know, and sometimes, you know, in our life, we forget. We get so used to the idea that could happen to us. After all, cannot happen to me. You know, and I say to many people and friends that I know, especially ladies, you know, especially when you live in a place like Arizona and you have guns, great. But where is your gun? You know, you forget it at home or you don't carry it tonight because maybe, you know what, I have my small purse or you got, you know, you don't feel like it. After all, you have a date. You don't need that gun. Please. Think about that. Would you drive your car without your spare tire? Same story. This is going to get, unfortunately, worse and worse. More than, of course, let's not forget, statistically, you may never seen a terrorist attack in your life. Probably you're going to be hit before by, you know, I don't know, a lightning or a thunderstorm or something, okay? Or maybe killed by a wasp. But the point is, can happen. Can happen that doesn't even need to be a terrorist. Could be just evil scumbag. That's much more reasonable. Can happen much more. And evil is not going to play fair with you. It's not going to say, okay, now I'll let you go. You just say, ask me to forgiveness, or you just ask me for, you know, spare your life. No. Evil loves to see you begging on your knees. That's why they're evil. I mean, I don't want to remind you the situation what happened with that family on the East Coast. There was a doctor when these two scumbags just released from prison. Or I think they escaped. I'm not even sure. The point is they came and broke into this home invasion and they raped and they burned alive the wife and the daughters of this man. And this man was a doctor and was able to escape. I don't know how can you live the rest of your life knowing that your wife and your daughters, they were crying and being raped and burned alive. And you could have the chance, if you were prepared, if you were a man, that you would have contemplated that. Unfortunately, you know, not because you're cool, not because you live in a great neighborhood or because, you know, you're a good person, bad things not going to happen to you. So it's very sad. I feel sad for that man, believe it or not, you know, because he's going to live the rest of his life. Maybe thinking, maybe what if I had a chance to be able to fight back? Doesn't mean that you're going to win, but at least you have a chance to fight back. Now we go back to the main point I wanted to bring, you know. What if this could happen to any one of us? Like a situation like we are facing, we are out of the blue, we are in the middle of this act of terrorism. What should we do? First of all, I said, the gun, handgun, I don't care which gun you have. You can have the most expensive gun. You can be also the most, accurate marksman and, the most trained person. That's great. But at the end of the day, you are the weapon. You know what is the most important weapon? Is your mind. Your mind, and I also would like to say something that normally instructors don't say out there, it's your heart. Because your heart is the real engine that will give you the motivation to do things. You can have a good mindset. You can have the perfect warrior mindset. Great. But you must be motivated by love. To be ready to do whatever it takes to stop evil, even at your own risk, even ready to give your life if you have to. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't like to give my life unnecessary, especially when our life is very, important. Our families count on us. They want us alive. But if I had to think that I need to choose between me and my family, I would completely give my life without thinking about it, if I could save them. That's a fact. So as I said, I wanted to bring a little bit about how can we fight back if we're facing situations like that. And don't get me wrong, this is not G.I. Joe talking. This is Luca Zanna. I'm an average person. The only thing that I have, probably more than the average, that I dedicated my last, please, 10 years studying everything I can and educating myself in the art and science of self-defense with weapons. So I'm a good student. I call myself a professional student. And I like to have it. I also had a chance through my radio show and all the different opportunity meeting the most experts out there to learn from any of them. So the first thing I would like to say, before we go into guns, we have to face a situation like we are in this middle of a crowd where we have this, normally they are, cowards, scumbags, people that they're armed and they try to prey on unarmed people. So first thing, mindset. If you have a weapon, would be the first solution. At least they don't expect it. Normally these bastards pick places where everybody is disarmed or unarmed. That's the bottom line. So the moment that you have a gun, you're already completely messing their life, messing their plan. You're giving a bad day. They didn't see it coming. So please, the first advice I would say, start to think, if you live in a state where you can have a gun, have it. Learn though, train. Don't just have a gun and say, okay, now if something happens, I will find out how to use it. No, you practice. You do the best you can. So that's number one. But more important, as I said, you may not have a gun. You may be probably just with a pen in your hand, or maybe with just nothing. You know what? When you realize that you're going to die no matter what, when situations like that happen, like in Paris, you're going to be dead no matter what. There's only the difference, though. You may still have a chance to at least fight back and maybe inspire others in the group of potential dead bodies that they say when they realize that they're all gonna die, and after all, these scumbags, normally they're always a smaller number than you, maybe you can inspire others to do the same action. If more of us, we act, instead of bow down and put ourselves on our knees, you completely fight back as an animal. Even just if you have to use your teeth, even if you're just to bite, scrape, scratch, do whatever you have to do. I mean, show him that you don't care anymore. I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding when I say use your teeth. That's one of the best weapons you have. Go for your throat, or for the fingers, or for the nose, or for the ears, or whatever. Rip them off. Look what Mike Tyson did, rip somebody's ears off. I'm not kidding. You're going to be dead anyway. But your mindset could be your final weapon. At that point, you try your best. Other solution, of course, if you have a chance, running, it's nothing bad. You want to preserve, at least keep the distance. Running is normally the way that you can be able to live another hour, maybe live another second and regroup, have a plan, And eventually, if you have a plan that makes sense, you can go back into the fight and try to help to stop the threat. So running doesn't mean that you're a coward. Running means that at the same time you are living right now, you have a chance to escape this immediate attack. And at the same time, once you have a chance to regroup and be safe, you can articulate a plan. And then at that point, even if you don't have a weapon, maybe you can create a weapon. Look around. Anything become a weapon. You know, I don't need to go into details now. Even a pencil, you know, could be a weapon. A fork. If you're at a restaurant, maybe you're at the restaurant, you have a, you know, steak knife. That's better than nothing. Seriously. So that's the bottom line. Start to have an open mind, and your mind must be your mindset, you know, completely supported by your heart. And I invite you right now, today, right now, while you're driving, or maybe you're listening to the show at your home, wherever, start to visualize, what if this is happen? It's happening. What would you do? You see this happen in front of you. You see your family is there, and they may be killed anytime. Have your mindset. Don't be a victim. The mindset that to say, you know what, I'm not going to flinch anymore. I already made my mental decision. When things like that happen, if I see out of the blue, let's say I'm a Safeway or I am a Walmart, I'm minding my business, and out of the blue I see somebody walking around with an AK-47 and start to shoot around, I don't need to think anymore. I'm not even going to have that second of split of, oh, maybe it's Halloween. No. If you walk around with a K-47, dressed like, you know, Aladdin in the middle of the desert, or whatever, I don't care how you dress, you start to shoot at people, I don't even need to think. There is no more debate, there is no conversation, there is no reasoning. I reach for my Glock, I point on the front side, and I'm going to blast you with every round I have. Meanwhile, I'm running. Now, I'm not going to be there steady like a target. I'm going to move and shoot and reloading if I have to. I already made up my mind. I already went through that. And in case I, for any God reason, I don't know, I may have forgot my gun in my house. Very almost impossible, because if I may forget probably my pants first, because my gun is automatically attached to my pants every time I wake up in the morning. But regardless, I may come after you if I have to with the probably, I don't know, with anything I see around. So that's the bottom line. The mindset you created now. Visualization is one of the most powerful things. There are many, you know, I don't know how you call them, psychologists or whatever, that they say, you know, if you can see it in your mind, you can make it happen. Also many coach, you know, says for life. And it's true. Everything I've done in my life, I always visualize it first. And then I was able to create it in my life, in my business, in my dreams, even coming to America. I was a dreamer. I visualized it when I was a children, when I was a child. I wanted to write songs when I was 11, 12. I was able to do it, and many other things. So my point is, visualize what you could do, and then train in the real life, practice, and buy the tools. Remember, the gun is just an extension of your body, of your mind, and of your soul. And it's just a tool to fight evil. As I said, many people out there, they may be anti-guns, or they have some sort of homophobia, or they feel like, oh, a gun. Guess what? The gun is not to kill, but to save a life. That's the way I look at it. It's not to take a life, but to save a life. And if you want to be a victim, you know, it's a free country after all. You do what you want. But don't tell me that you're subhuman, you know, very, I would say, emotional, mental disorder. Seriously. If you believe that carrying a gun for a lot body in season is dangerous, you are completely a person that needs some help. Look what happened to all these gun-free zones. Look what's happening in Paris. Look what's happening in Europe. Okay? Or any place where guns are not allowed by the government or by some private business. That's exactly where these evil bastards flourish. So, if you want to be continuing, you know, if you're some sort of, whatever you want to call yourself, Democrat, liberal that does not believe in the Second Amendment, guess what? That's fine. But just, you know, you're free to be a victim if you want to. That's fine. But use some logic for a moment. Use your brain. Just don't repeat the phrases from your leaders, politicians, that after all, they have plenty of bodyguards. I would like to ask, you know, to Hillary or to Obama that they want all gun controls, when they're going to give up their bodyguards. Yeah, right. Try to go close to Hillary Clinton or to any of these politicians that are against for gun control. Let's see if they don't have at least, a dozen of bodyguards heavily armed and trained. So that's the story. That's the story, guys. Please think about it. Don't take anything for granted. And this is just an humble opinion from a guy with an accent, after all. Okay? And more important, it's an act of love. Saving a life, it's an act of love. It's a decision that you must make today. And I still pray, I want to pray for every victim out there, not just for the Paris victim, for all the victims in the world, that they are somehow results of evil. Evil, it's on this planet right now, like it's been since the beginning of times. I really believe now it's happening in almost a prophetic way. And, I don't need to preach, as I said, but I really believe we are living in very prophetical times. All right, if you want to support the show, I said many times, the show, it's free, and I can speak here whatever I want. First of all, I thank the station, of course, but also on the internet, and because I can be here and use my time, dedicate many hours of my life that I pretty much take away from my business, for the things I do, because I have the support from listeners like yourself. And you can be anywhere in the world. You can help this show. And I want to give you the chance to be, can be your show. You can say whatever you want here. There are no restrictions, okay? So all you can do to support me, one of the things you can do, you can go to one of my websites, like for example, Zanna, ZANNA.us, and you can download any of my songs for just 99 cents. Even just 99 cents, downloading a song, you really show me your support, and I appreciate what I'm trying to do. And I appreciate in this way I can keep this show free, and I don't need to beg for corporate sponsors. Now, for today it's enough. I'm tired, I need a glass of wine. You've been listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna. God's willing, I'll talk to you next Sunday.